innovation. In this module, you learn about how you can develop a culture that is best suited for innovation. In most companies, innovation is a corporate value and a practice. For some, it's a strategy, and for some, it could be the everyday grind to search for the next big thing. Even though most of the vision statements and values of companies comprise of words like innovation, risk-taking, creativity, and commitment to agility and to change faster, very often they are jargons that struggles to find its meaning in execution. Without a culture that supports, nurture, and enhance innovation, no companies can remain innovative. There's a saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. This means no matter how good your best laid plans are, ultimately what gets done or practiced are the habits of doing things, which is an organizational culture. What executes strategy is the culture. Therefore, to innovate constantly, culture must become your number one strategy. Because in a competitive marketplace, everything can be copied or replicated, including the design, productions, and processes. But one thing that can't be duplicated is the culture of a company. Culture is the only thing that separates you from the competition, because every organization has a unique culture. Culture is so unique, just like any other personality of an individual. In a marketplace where skills are commoditized, knowledge can be shared, and technology is highly imitated, the only thing that is unmatched is the culture. Culture makes innovation happen because culture is the way you do what you do. To innovate constantly, the people must possess the drive, the enthusiasm to pursue, and the courage to risk on uncertainties. But how can an organization build that drive and behavior that will promote innovation in the workplace? That's a big question. The answer is to give utmost importance to innovation, to declare innovation as a core value, core objective, and core strategy for your businesses. Once everyone abides by that culture, a culture is formed. When strong values are established, it serves as a guidelines for people to think and act in a certain manner. Values act as embedded beliefs, codified principles, and guidelines to live by. They bind the people within the organization together. Values bind people together. They connect with customers, and they increase the emotional equity of an organization. With high stake on emotional equity, companies can conceive magnificent ideas, believe in the collective capability to deliver them to succeed in any marketplace. Moreover, the value system will bind people, giving them the emotional bond to believe in something collectively and to practice something collaboratively. The emotional bond powered by a value system that fosters creativity can be a playground for great innovations. So here is how you build a culture for innovation. Number one, build the emotional bond. Great innovations are driven by emotions, empowering beliefs, and a strong value system that provides a great climate and culture for innovation. Emotion motivates the workplace. Invention and innovation have many parents. The Taj Mahal was built out of sorrow. The Babylonian gardens were designed out of love. The Empire State Building was constructed for ego. And the Brooklyn Bridge was motivated by pride. Name an emotion, motivation, or situation, and you will find an innovation somewhere that it's seeded. Thomas J. Watson built IBM Corporation after he was fired by the chief of NCR Corporation. He wanted to build a company bigger than NCR, and he eventually proved his point. Lamborghini built the supercars after being ridiculed by Ferrari. Walt Disney was driven to build more iconic characters like Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse after he lost his Oswald the Rabbit to the MGM Studios during a dispute on the copyright of the characters Disney has created. In almost all aspects, on a larger scale, great breakthroughs in history are all driven by emotions. Creativity is a spur of emotions. But what drives emotions are the hierarchy of our core values. When something of greater value is violated, we are bound to search for it and find it eventually. When we value something very highly, we are bound to focus our livelihood on it. The same notion applies to organizations. If innovation is a top value in the organizational hierarchy of values, those companies are inspired to innovate ceaselessly. Also, it is value that determines our decisions. And it is those decisions that ultimately navigate our destiny. Therefore, the direction of a company is determined by its key focused areas. Where attention goes, energy flows, and efforts are put in where the rewards come in. What keeps our eyes fixated on the target is our value system. What we value, we focus on. What we don't value, we ignore them. Number 2, embracing innovation as a core value. The core values determine what a company stands for. Values are the bedrocks on which great companies are built. If we need to get the fundamental right, then we must get the foundation strong. A strong foundation for any individual or a company is to have a strong value system. When a company puts innovation as a top value, they are reassuring their commitment to innovation. They are reassuring their commitment to their customers. When we are committed, we can no longer cut corners or make concessions that will diminish our values. According to a McKinsey Global Survey in 2007 about how companies approach innovation, almost 70% of the organization report that innovation is among their top 3 priorities. But in the same year, a survey of 550 HR executives and managers by HRPA and Idea Action reveals that less than 20% of organizations conduct any innovation training. This can be contradicting to the value system. This reminds us that values should not be just aspirational. Values must reflect who you are and what matters to you the most right now. When an organization declares innovation as their corporate value, they make a huge offer to their customers. They are making a promise to their customers, employees, associates, and stakeholders. Values are highly resonant in nature. It attracts customers and talents who share similar values. Values act as a glue which binds people together. When customers hold a value for innovation or innovative products, they are bound to resonate with the organizations that promote innovation. They buy products that are very innovative. The same goes for employees. If they hold innovation as a top value, they prefer to work for an organization that lives and breathes innovation. The same goes with other stakeholders who appreciate the value of innovation. They also get gravitated towards companies that are very innovative. Develop strong supporting values and philosophy. We focus our attention to hold on to what is valuable to us. When innovation becomes a top value, an organization makes bold declaration of what they stand for, which is innovation. It can be a big fat claim, but living it means everything. When innovation becomes a top value, it must be supported again by values that constitute innovation. The supporting value structure for innovation would be collaboration, agility, learning and development, flexibility and adaptability, a non-hierarchical management structure, free flow of information, a trusted environment, the commitment to quality, and so on. These supporting values empower innovation. When there are conflicting values, we tend to move away from innovation. The conflicting values are these values and practices that move an organization away from innovation attempts and their ideas and their commitments to innovation. The conflicting values or practice to innovation could be risk aversion, bureaucracy, hierarchy, orthodoxy, and so on. Therefore, it's imperative to have supporting values that fosters innovation and check on values and practices that stop us from innovating. The value structure also forms the philosophy of an organization. It It defines our understanding, it defines our underlying motives and the way we choose to view and observe our world. It basically defines our approach to products, services, customers, associates, and shareholders. Our operating philosophy must enhance innovation, otherwise it will undermine our attempts in exercising innovation at every level. It was the philosophy of simplicity that led Apple to create successful products. The principle of affordability led Southwest Airlines to become an economy airline. The philosophy we attach to work determines the behavior in the workplace. For example, IDEO is considered as a great innovative workplace. In order to develop their innovation work culture, they adapted a work philosophy: fail often to succeed sooner. This slogan is the fundamental underlying philosophy behind its success to emerge as one of the world's leading innovation design firm. Sir Richard Branson also acknowledges the ability to fail as a core value for the Virgin brand. This helps the brand to experiment and come up with different types of businesses that violates the traditional norm of doing businesses. When innovation is accepted as a top value in an organization, they are bound to build a work culture around it. Culture stems from values, and values come from deeply held beliefs, work philosophy, and assumptions that we hold. Bottom line, values shape our philosophy, and the philosophy guides our behaviors and work culture. Think innovation beyond the R&D department. In the past, innovation were a priority and a core value for the research and development unit in an organization. Innovation was purely the business of the R&D. But the time has changed. Creativity and innovation is not just the proprietary function of an R&D lab. It has become everybody's business. Innovation cannot be confined to one or two departments or farmed out of an elite group of star innovators at an R&D kitchen. Instead, it must permeate within the entire organizations. Each department or clusters must be seen as different parts of the innovation body, like heart, brain, legs, ears, eyes, amounting to a collective innovation. After all, there is a reason why we call companies corporation, which comes from the word corpus, meaning body. Each part contributing value amounting to the innovation an organization undertakes, even if the contribution varies in degrees. Therefore, the spirit of innovation must proliferate within the organization, where people can buy into the utmost vision of the company in their value delivery. The spirit need not be limited by budget, even though innovation can be constrained by several reasons. According to Steve Jobs, innovation has nothing to do with how much R&D dollars you have. When Apple came up with this Mac, IBM was spending at least 100 times more on R&D. Steve Jobs said it very aptly once: it is not about the money, it's about the people you have, how you are led, and how much you get it. When a company values innovation highly, its people are bound to think creatively, and their collective efforts will be aligned to a shared vision. Further, a sense of mission clarifies the direction of performance, and this helps to determine which new ideas to focus on and which has to be ignored. It helps employees to distinguish the majors from the minors. A clearly communicated long-term vision and the short-term outcomes clarifies what to focus on in the short term and in the long term. Once a strong direction is set, and when innovation is taken as a core value, it is pumped into the system, where organizations no longer work on something, instead they begin to work towards something. Innovation is not an event. It is a process. It's a process where everyone within the organization has to play a part, from the idea stage to going to the market and succeeding in it. value will provide and the ecosystem and the strategic direction to everyone in an organization. The ecosystem is also the culture where innovation proliferates and creativity is unfolded effortlessly to solve challenges that comes after an innovation initiative. Bottom line, innovation as a value must proliferate within the organization at all levels. Once a strong commitment is taken to uphold innovation as a core value, innovation must spread to every aspect of the organization like a stream. It will no longer limit itself within the confinement of the research and development alone. Instead, like a free flow of bloodstream, it permeates all across its organizational functions to create and deliver value ceaselessly. Remember, the culture gets the work done. And if your employees doesn't see themselves as innovators, they won't act like one.